Good morning, and welcome to the 9th. Just mute it for me, Rosia. Welcome to the 9th Maths with Miss Live in London Summer Special. Sorry, Rose is listening to it and she hasn't muted it, and I keep hearing myself in the background. But I'm sure she'll sort it out. So we're back again, as always, little and often, 3 times a week. We've got a couple more weeks still to go. And then I'm going to have a week off before we go back to school, because I need a week off. I think you guys do too. So, right. So 2 pens, ruler, notebook. You guys know all of that now. No calculator. We don't need a calculator, but we do need our superb, fabulous brain. If you've got a pack of cards, I'm going to show you what the trick that we did on Wednesday and explain how that works, and then maybe you can try it at home as well. So if you've got a pack of cards, that would be great. Let's do some shout outs. Okay, so I have quite a few to go through, so bear with me. I have Amy, Daniel, Chloe, Matthew, Matada, Emily, Rose, Neha, Samuel, Josie, Izzy, Louisa, Frankie, who else? Jathajan, Betty, Aliha, Ellie Mae, Brooke, Ibrahim, and I think it's Manahil. So welcome to all of you. It is fantastic to be here. Let's get started. And we're going to start with Wednesday's takeaway challenge. I'm just going to put it back up to remind you. Don't forget, you can always pause this and have a go if you didn't get a chance to do it on Wednesday. But for those of you who have, let's go through the solution now on the board. So, let's make sure you can see. All right, so these are our 5 different numbers, and we have to decide which one is prime. Now, we want to make it as easy as possible, so let's get rid of the easy ones first. Now, we probably know that this is in our 5 times tables and in our 9 times tables. So, and just by virtue of the fact it ends in a 5, we know that it can't be a prime number unless it's the number 5. Okay, so that's fairly easy. B, well, that's an even number, isn't it? It's divisible by 2. So it cannot be a prime number. Ooh, that one looks a bit harder. I think I might come back to that one. But let's look at this one. This one ends in 8. It's an even number, and therefore it is divisible by 2. So now we're left with 2 that we've got to work out. Now, can you remember that trick I explained about if something's in the 3 times table, if we add the numbers together, the digits together, and that number is in the 3 times table, then the number is in the 3 times table. So let's try with this first one. So if we did 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 6 is 15, plus 7, so that would give us 22. Okay, so that's not in the 3 times table, but it might be in a different times table, maybe the 7 times table, maybe something else. We don't know definitely yet that that's our prime number. Maybe let's take a look at this one. So if we have 4 plus 5, that's 9. We're adding on the 6 to give us 15, the 7 to give us 22, the 8 to give us 30, and the 9 to give us 39. Well, because we know that 3 multiplied by 13 gives us 39, it is in the 3 times table, and therefore it is not a prime number. Let's go back to this one then so we don't confuse ourselves. So the number 4, 5, 6, 7 is prime. We don't need to check anything else because we've eliminated the other 4 options. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now, bear with me. We need to take a look at that trick that we did on Wednesday. Ooh, gone a little bit too far. On that trick we did on Wednesday. So, Rose, let's just bring this. Just hold the laptop. Hold it. There we go. All right, so let's put the screen down so you can see. There we go. Let's get the playing.
Hello and welcome to Rose's fabulous card trick explanation.
That was unexpected. Okay, so, right, we need to make sure we understand what's going on here. So, I'm shuffling the cards.
Shall we try doing one correct?
Well, shall we? Shall we try and see if we can finally do one and get it right? Okay. So we've got to count out 26 cards, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now remember, I said we're going to make a note of that. Okay, you write it down for me, Rose. Yeah. 8, doesn't matter. Oh, I've got tissue. The 8, pass me that tissue. Okay, so we've got the 8 of hearts. That's our 7th card. We're going to keep going now because you wouldn't know that if you were doing it to somebody else. Right, so now we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, so remember that the 7th card is the 8 of hearts. So now I've got a pile of 26 cards. Okay, so Rose. So I've got 2 piles of 26 cards. Okay, and I'm going to put this pile. Can you stop there? Okay, I'm going to put this pile underneath this pile. Okay, so this pile goes on the bottom. So now my 7th card, was here, okay, and Rose is telling us it's the 8th of hearts. So I've got 26 plus the 7th card. So 26 plus 7 is card number 33. So now I'm not going to shuffle them. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to turn 3 cards over. Remember, if it's a 10, Jack, Queen or King, we just stop, we don't do anything. And now we count out the cards. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. And now the last step is we add up the numbers on the cards. Remember, we said that all picture cards are worth 10. So 10, 13, 21. Okay, so we want the 21st card that we're going to turn over. We think it's going to be the 8 of hearts. Let's work it out and see. Hopefully it works this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The 21st card
It's the 8 of hearts.
is, thank goodness for that, the 8 of hearts. Let's have a little look, thank you Rose, as to why that is. Remember, the 33rd card was the 8 of hearts. Let's see how many cards we've dealt out even. Okay, so we counted out 21 here. And here we've counted out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? All right. So,
is it supposed to be 21?
So 12 plus 21
equals 33.
Well done. And that will work every single time. Every single time. Have a little play with it. Practice it at home. Let me know either on the Facebook page or on the next chat how you get on. All right. Maybe. Okay. Let's just stand back. All right. Whew. You have no idea how nervous we were about whether that trick was going to work this time. So I'm absolutely delighted that it did. Okay. Let's move that back so it's not in the way. Right. So about time you guys did a little bit of work because I was a little bit nervous there. So here we go. Your first 10 questions. Got about 30 seconds left. Part 2. Thirty seconds remaining. And part 3. 30 seconds. Okay, your time's up. Let's start going through some of the answers. I'm going to get my pointer stick out. I've just been reminded. I'm not always very good at remembering. Okay, so where is it? Here we go. Question 1 is 2. Question 2 is 62. Question 3 is 46. Question 4, 109. Question 5 is 12. Question 6 is 3. Question 7 is 4. 0.105 as a fraction is 105 over 1000, or you can simplify it to 21 over 20. Rounding to 3 decimal places gives you 5.735, and 21.96 plus 8.42 gives you 30.38. Let's move on to part 2. All right, we have question 1 is 2. Question 2 is 50. Question 3 is 5. Question 4 is 90. Question 5 is 10. Question 6 is 7. Question 7 is 18. Question 8 is 5,609. Question 9 is 300. And question 10 is 69.3. Finally, moving on to part 3. We have question 1 is 2. Question 2 is 0051. Yeah, it's after midnight, 51 minutes after midnight. Question 3 is 6:37 p.m. Question 4 is 7. Question 5 is 6. Question 6 is 8. Question 7 is -2. Rounding to 2 significant figures. So you have 2 numbers there with non-zero digits and the rest are zeros. So we're just looking at the 2 numbers in the largest column. So in this case, the 1,000 and the 100 columns. And the 9 has rounded the 6 up to a 7. So we get 6,700. Question 9 is 27. And question 10, a little bit of a trick here to see if you could see the pattern, is also 27. All right, very good. Hope they marked all of those and you've popped your marks in the chat for me so we can take a little look. Let's have a look and so why is fraction question over 1,000, please? Let's bring that one back there. Why is fraction question over 1,000, please? I'm not sure. Chloe, I'm not sure which one that's referring to. Is it this one's over 100? I'm not sure. If you can clarify that, I'll come back to it, yeah? Right. And then miss for question 8, part 1, I said 20 instead of 200. Did I? Oh, I see. I see. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for picking that up, Jathajan. I'd completely missed that. That's what happens when I'm rushing. Okay. Apologies for that. Right. Let's get started with your first challenge question.
I got 20 out of 30.
Rose got 20 out of 30. She's absolutely over the moon. That's her record. Brilliant. So keep putting your scores in the chats whilst you have a look at your challenge question. Right, I'm not sure how you're getting on. I'm just going to show you what I've set up on the board. So I have drawn out the sequence. Now, if you have access to my Facebook page, then you can download these and then you don't have to write them out. Or if it's easier than writing all the symbols in, I've just shown you that you can do hearts, clubs, hearts, diamonds, hearts, spades. You don't necessarily have to spend ages drawing them out. Okay, I'm going to give you, I think, about I've got some answers coming in as well already, so maybe we don't need any more time. Okay, tell you what we'll do. I'll just put this up. If you've not finished and you need more time, pause it right now. If you're happy to keep going, then let's take a look at the solution. So there's two different ways that you can look at solving this. Okay, so I'm going to show you both ways. So you can look at the pattern and you might see quite easily that you've got a heart every other symbol, which also is every odd number. So every time there's an odd number, you know it's going to be a heart. Now the question wants, let me grab the question, it's the 100th and the 101st symbols. So we now know that the 101st symbol is a heart. So we're halfway there. Now, what's really nice with multiple choice questions, if I put it up, now you can look at this and you can already eliminate B, because it ends in a diamond, and C. So we've already reduced it down to now we've just got 3 different options available to us. So the important bit is to work out. So we could counter, so we've got 2, and then the next time we've got a club, it's 8. So you've got to go all the way from 2 to 8. So we're adding on 6. And then if there was another one, we'd add on 6. So we'd know the next one would be 14. And we could keep adding on, and to see if we get to 100. And you could absolutely do that. And you could do the same with the diamond. And you can see that to get to the diamond, you've got to add on 6. And indeed, to get to the spade, you've got to add on 6 as well. So it's absolutely fine, particularly if you're younger, to focus on adding on to get to 100. But if you're in key stage 3 or key stage 4, then you might want to, my phone just went off. You might want to look at using the nth term rule. Okay, not all of you will have come across this. This is absolutely fine. But what we do is if we look at, maybe let's look at the spade. Okay, so the spade appears on the 6th one, on the 12th one, and then remember we've got to add on 6. So you see, I'm actually just writing out the 6 times table. And if I kept going, writing out the 6 times table,
that's 100.
I wouldn't get to 100. No, I wouldn't. I'd actually get to 96, and then I'd get to 102. So I wouldn't get to 100 just counting out the 6 times table. So now let's look at what's interesting. If I look at the diamond, so if we were doing sequences at school in a lesson, then we would say that this number here, we would call it the letter N. And we would say that that sequence for the spades is 6N. So 6 times whatever number you've got. So 6, yeah, okay. So because it's going in 6s. But we haven't got to 100. So now maybe let's try something else. Let's try the club. Now the club went up in a sequence of 2. And then the next one was 8. And again, because we're adding on 6 each time, it still has something to do with the 6 times table. But it doesn't start with 6. So we would call it 6N. But we would have to subtract 4 to get from 6 back to the 2. So if we kept going all the way here, you can see that all these numbers are 4 less. You would end up with here, instead of 96, you'd have 92. Then you would have 98 and 104. Okay, so it's still not going to be a club. So we know now it is going to be the diamond. It's the only one left, but we want to prove that it is the diamond. So let's just do the diamond. So the diamond appears for the 4th one, at the 10th one, and again, then every 6. So if we keep going all the way up, yeah, this time if we start with the 6, we've got to subtract 2 to get to the 4. So again, if I'm here, subtract 2, that would give me 94. Subtract 2 gives me 100. So 6 and subtract 2, just to get from 6 to 4, we've subtracted 2. Our answer is diamond. And you could just count up in 6s to check that that's correct as well. So I hope that makes sense. It's very difficult to explain sequences, which would normally take about 3 lessons, in one lesson, virtually, with no sort of feedback from you guys. But I hope that all makes sense for you. Okay, so let's move on to the second one. Now, Rose is going to do this one, but I'm going to put it up to start with. I'm hoping you can read it. I'm going to write it up on the board as well. Okay, but just have a little read through. Right. I'm wondering if we've got any responses as yet. I've just quickly scribbled it up on the board for you. There we go. So again, if you need a little bit more time, then you can pause it. But we're going to see, hopefully we'll have slightly more success than Wednesday. We're going to see if Rose can do this, okay? All right, so Rose is going to think of a number, or you can choose a number from the cards. Do you want to choose a number from the cards?
I'm not allowed to look at it.
I'm not going to look at it, but I don't really care what number you choose. Okay?
Choose this number. Okay, everyone, can you see this number?
Okay, is it between 1 and 10?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Rose is thinking of a number. I want you guys to think of a number as well. Okay. But I want you to think of a different number to the number that Rose is thinking of. Okay? Add 1 to it, Rose.
But you can't know it.
I know, but you need to do it. Add 1 to
write
it.
it down.
Okay, well you write it down.
Okay, guys. So If I add 1, I get this number. Double it, you get this number. Take away 3, you get this number. So add this number, so now I get this number. Add that, so we get 36.
You nearly there?
Almost. Okay, then we're going to divide it by 3. So, we get this number, guys.
And what's the last step?
And then we need to subtract the number we first wanted to. Mum, what do you think we ended up with?
Can you hold that up?
Is she correct?
Is it 2? Did you all get 2? So it doesn't matter what number.
As long as it's between 1 and 10.
No. You could pick 100, or 1,000, or 862, but it'd just take you a lot longer to do the calculations. Doesn't matter what number you pick. You're always going to get 2. Have a little play around with that. And on Monday, I'm going to show you the maths behind it and why it works. Okay, right, we are nearly out of time, so I think we're going to have a couple of dingbats.
Dingbat!
Here comes the first one. Have you got it? Have you got it, Rose? Pause if you need more time. It was. Has anyone put it in the chat? The last straw. Fantastic. Well done. Well done, Chloe. Rose thought it was 10 straws. The last straw, because the last one's underlined. Here's your maths, Dingbat. Anyone got it?
What is it?
What do clocks do?
Clock's hand. Clock hand.
What do clocks do? They tell
They tell the time.
They tell the time. And what are these?
Stool.
No, similar to stools, but they're not chairs. They are
tables.
Okay, so say it again. No, what was it? These tell the times. Times tables. Okay, sorry. Okay, here is your takeaway challenge. All right, you love these broken calculator ones, but this is a difficult one. So let me just say, yeah, it does look quite tough, doesn't it? So you can only use multiplication and subtraction, okay? And you can only use the numbers 5 and 4. One of them's been done for you. Some of them are easier than others. You could just see that 5 subtract 4 gives you 1. You might want to make really complicated ones as well. That's entirely up to you. But I'm going to leave that with you and have an amazing weekend. Bye. Have a fantastic, it's going to be super, super hot. So enjoy the sun, but be safe as well. And I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.